Now welcome to another edition of News from Naboo with Thor's Lightning Takes. And let's get right to the news.
I know Ewan McGregor's been out and about. He's been talking about Kenobi Season 2 and how, it's only going to happen if there's a story, and there's no story, and we've heard, nothing. But he was at LA Comic-Con. While he was there, he, once again, brought up a Kenobi Season 2, which I thought was supposed to be a limited series. That's what they billed it as. But he says they are now exploring ideas for Kenobi Season 2. He says he wants to wear the Clone Wars armor and do more flashbacks with Hayden.
Okay, that sounds cool.
Yes, but that's not an... Is it just
No,
because
that's not a premise, unfortunately.
The premise is I want to look cool in Clone Wars armor with my boy.
I mean, I guess that's a premise in a way. I want to be cool in Clone Wars armor, which I appreciate that he knows all about Clone Wars armor and all that.
Well, next we'll also bring back the actress who played young Ahsoka, who I thought she did a very good job.
I thought she did a great job. She, in some ways, does a better job than Rosario does, bringing that certain energy and spunkiness. Though, yes, older Ahsoka is probably not going to be quite like that. But you know what I'm saying. She certainly brought that same kind of attitude, I think is the word I'm looking for here.
Yes, she had the attitude
of Ahsoka.
Down. Yeah, it felt right.
It is interesting that they do have, I mean, they got the trio now. You really could do some Clone Wars style flashbacks. Yeah,
they could. I mean, and we saw even in Ahsoka that I think they did better on the CGI on Hayden.
Well, so much better.
I think they could do better making a younger rendition of him for doing more flashback sequences. I imagine this might be a more introspective Kenobi show then. Well, or maybe he's looking back into the past.
I hope they listen to... I mean, if you... Again, I always say this, I know, but if you like the Kenobi series, that's fine. I was not a big fan. I was really hoping for something, again, introspective. Let's dig into what is Kenobi's mindset right now. Where is he at right now? How does he make this transition from the end of Revenge of the Sith, where he has lost everything, to the guy we see in A New Hope?
I think Disney tried too hard with the series. Instead of doing some sort of introspective show that I feel like the Kenobi at this time would have done, something more akin to the novel, perhaps.
Yeah, which takes place right after Revenge of the Sith, really, but yeah.
Instead, they got too big for their britches and was like, well, can we do a show with just Kenobi looking at his past, looking towards the future by himself? No. We need to run around the galaxy. We need to make this a bigger story. Yeah. Bail has to come and tell him Leia's been kidnapped, and then Luke is in danger.
Yeah, Luke gets abducted by Reva, and it's like, oh my goodness.
Luke and Leia had to be in peril for Kenobi to act, and I think that was too much. I mean, even just cut Luke and Leia out, having the Inquisitors searching planet to planet, hearing rumors of a Jedi who's still possibly in service, doing Jedi-like things, could have been a fine show. It could have just been him against Inquisitors. They didn't need to bring the kids in.
No, I think there's a ton of things you can do with Kenobi on Tatooine, and you can still bring in, Hayden, and you can have Darth Vader being a part of it as he looks for Kenobi, even though now he should stop because Palpatine told him to.
But now he could hunt for Reva, and Reva knows the truth about Luke.
Sure.
Allegedly.
I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean Vader's going to stop because Palpatine said so. I mean, he does his own things from time to time, of course. I don't know. I think the problem with the first Kenobi season, and I say first, like there will be a second, and we don't know that.
But I think it's going to be.
I think they will kind of... Ewan is so eager, and I think they realize that it is a gold mine character if you can tap it right. And they did not... in my opinion, again, they didn't tap season 1 at all.
They went too big on the story.
Yeah, because they started with... I can literally see the meeting where they decided to do this, and the first thing they decided was we need Vader and Kenobi to fight again. We need the rematch of the century. That's even how the show was initially kind of advertised or announced.
And it's funny because they didn't need that.
No, it doesn't need that. And if you're going to do it, you don't need to do it where they literally meet again. There are ways through the Force where we could do something with that kind of thing.
If they wanted Kenobi to leave the planet so bad and not stay in Tatooine, all they had to do was hint that this could affect Luke. That him staying here would put Luke in danger, and he had to lure danger off planet.
Something
now you can change up the scenery. Instead, they did this weird thing where Book of Boba Fett stayed on Tatooine the whole time, and Kenobi was out exploring the galaxy.
They got those two shows kind of just backwards.
No,
they really did.
Kenobi should have stayed on Tatooine and dealt with problems there, perhaps problems that could have affected the Owens family and Luke, and that he's preemptively maybe trying to stop things or throw the Empire away from the planet, making deals in the Undercity, pretending to be a bounty hunter again to help Jabba solidify his reign, to keep the Empire out of Tatooine.
Yeah.
That could have been a great story.
Yeah, you could have it where it is really about just Obi-Wan trying to keep the Empire or keep an Inquisitor or something away from Tatooine in general, where he does have to maybe make a deal with Jabba. And he knows Jabba. I mean, they're buddies.
And you could have kept the storyline where he is struggling with using the Force, that he's struggling to reconnect after everything that has happened.
Yeah, there's so many things you could do with it that you don't have to, again, start with, we need Vader and Kenobi to fight because otherwise people won't watch it. And then, of course, most people who praise the show will cite that battle. So there you go.
There you go. They just went too hard on selling this over-the-top show with, we need to put Luke in, Leia in, Bail Organa, Darth Vader, all the Inquisitors.
Well, it's not that I have any problem with necessarily Bail being in there and needing to contact him for some reason. I mean, they did some stupid things where he's like literally in a message, like saying everything, like every little secret is being given away, and then of course it gets found.
He had to come and deliver the message in person.
Yeah,
the second one we'll just leave it on his comments.
Yeah, he does some stupid things in the show, and like the irony is, as much as like Leia is obviously an important character, like I do believe that if Leia was in trouble, that would lure Kenobi out of hiding potentially. I'm not saying that, but the irony is like young Leia was one of the better parts of the show. She actually nails, I think, a young Leia pretty well.
Yeah.
Again, that attitude.
But I feel like, and I know I've said this in our reviews way back when, they needed to find a way to have her not remember him.
Yeah, instead
so that it doesn't impact A New Hope. Instead, she'll be like, oh, that Jedi, I remember him from when I was a kid.
Kenobi. I'm going to introduce myself as if we have never met, which,
we have met.
Yeah, and then people try to make excuses for this and that, or they'll point to the fact...
No, kids remember stuff.
Yeah, they'll point to the fact that when Luke goes into the cell in A New Hope and says, I'm here with Ben Kenobi, and she's all excited, Ben Kenobi, where is he? Like, she's just excited that the guy she sent a message to is here, that is a Jedi. The guy she
heard about from her father.
Exactly. She's like, oh my god, the guy I sent the Death Star plans to.
The guy who gave me floating...
But it's just that's what it is. It's not like she recognizes the name from her child or 10 years ago, really, in story. That's not what it is at all. People really try to...
No, because if it was that, I think she would have a much greater emotional...
Yeah, she doesn't care when he dies.
When he dies. Instead, she comforts Luke, but she has really no stake in that. She has
no emotional reaction. Because, I mean, obviously, the obvious answer is that, yes, when George Lucas wrote that, he wasn't thinking... You know what?
If they make
45 years from now, they might make a show about this, so I should make sure Leia has an emote. No. Like, he didn't think they'd ever met. Obviously, he's just, telling his story back then, and they had clear... By the way, she says, General Kenobi, years ago you served my... Like, again, if you know him, that's not how you start that message. Anyway.
No, just they need a piece of debris to fall and hit her in the head so that when he takes her back home, all they could say is... Hey, how is she doing? I came to check up on her, and Bail would be like, she's recovering, but she doesn't remember anything.
Something.
And that would have been fine.
Yeah.
Boom. You fixed the problem you created. Boom. We're done. It's okay. Yeah. Instead, they just ran with it. Maybe in Kenobi 2, they'll fix it.
Maybe.
Kenobi 2, they're going to mind wipe her.
Maybe. I mean, that
Kenobi 2, fixing Season 1's problems. That's the name.
Well, it's got a lot of...
Well, plus, Reva's still out there, and she knows about Luke.
Do you think Reva shows up in Season 2?
I don't think she needs to, but I feel like she will.
I don't know. It really depends on where they go with it.
Well, it depends on the actor's schedule as well.
Yeah, and again, we're talking as if it's a done deal. And
I feel like it's a done deal, because they've been spurned monetarily-wise by the Acolyte so hard, they need something to make money, and you know who sells? Kenobi.
He does sell, but if they betray him again, it's going to be ugly, and they need to know that. They need to understand that. Like, don't bring him back again and do another stupid gallivanting around the galaxy. Let's not do that again.
No, you need to stay introspective. You need to have him learning with Qui-Gon or something, something to that extent.
Yeah, but anyway, I think that's going to be all we got for this time. Now it is your turn. Take to the comments below. Tell us what you think about Kenobi Season 2. Are you excited? Are you dreading the
Now
possibility?
with more flashbacks.
Well, now with more clone armor.
Which could work if he's doing an introspective show.
Sure, of course. But anyway, leave those comments below. Let's talk some Star Wars. And until next time, thanks for watching.